Bridget and Sam moved to Ottawa and had 2 children, Robert and Melinda, Bobby and Melly. Their kids were joiners. They hated to be alone, and every weekend they wanted to see their friends at soccer, birthday parties, figure skating, hockey, dance recitals, sleepovers. This took up much of life. Bridget began to dream of travel, spas in Costa Rica, yoga retreats in Scandinavia. "I think I'm burning out," she said to Sam, and he thought she meant on work, but she meant on everything. Sam was stable and good for her, absorbing whatever she threw at him, the tofu of husbands. But it didn't help. She considered an affair, but it seemed like too much work. Anyway, her days were full of meetings and carpools. There was no time for malfeasance. Instead, she spent more hours than she should have online, seeing whose life had turned out to be more dramatic than her own. That was how she found Angela, who maintained active accounts on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Angela was still in Vancouver, and judging by her pictures, she had 1 child, an astonishingly beautiful boy who was a perfect combination of her and Charles. Her eyes, his nose, as if they divided up the genes by legal agreement. Angela photographed him playing soccer and baking muffins. She pinned recipes for organic pancakes with hidden spinach and discussed the importance of fish oil supplements. She redid her living room and posted the swatches. Everything was off-white. She said that her favorite color was bone. Bridget clicked like. Within a day, a message from Angela popped up in her inbox, frothing with 6 years' worth of news. Much of it was already known to Bridget from the internet, but she pretended it wasn't. As it happened, Angela was coming to Ottawa for a conference, and they made plans to get together. Bridget asked what kind of conference it was. "Medical," Angela wrote. On the day they were to meet, Bridget went straight from the office, in her pencil skirt and heels, to the bar at Angela's hotel downtown. It was a modest hotel that catered to visiting bureaucrats. Angela was sitting in a booth, wearing jeans and a light cardigan, a bone-colored cardigan. Her hair was cut in a pleasant bob, and she was still blonde. When she saw Bridget, she stood up and flung her arms around her, pressing herself against Bridget's chest. It was the way Bridget's children had hugged her when they were little, holding nothing back, and Angela's body felt like a child's, thin and pliant and eager. Bridget asked what kind of work she was doing at the conference, and Angela waved her hand shyly. "I'm not working these days," she said. "The conference is for people who have my illness." The illness was one that Bridget had never heard of. Angela described a set of diffuse symptoms: fatigue, muscle aches, cognitive impairment that defied diagnosis. Doctors were perplexed. Much research still had to be done. "What kind of cognitive impairment?" Bridget said. "Oh," Angela said, smiling. "I'm in a fog most of the time." She didn't seem in a fog to Bridget. They sat drinking wine and discussing the annoying habits of their husbands and children, the dirty socks left on couches, dishes unscraped in the sink. Angela's son had bought a frog at a pet store and tried to sleep with it in his bed. Her husband was always at the hospital. He'd suggested that her symptoms were psychosomatic. "Men always say that women are crazy," Angela said vehemently. "But men have been in charge for most of history, and look how that's turned out." Bridget laughed. "Bitches be crazy," Angela went on, shaking her head and making air quotes with her fingers. Bridget didn't know what or whom she was quoting.